Hey everybody, what's up? This is your girl Dragon. It's time to jump into another quick tutorial. Again, this is a live tutorial. We're going to be jumping into how to make some elimination streaks. This particular tutorial will show you how to make a 3-time elimination streak reward system. Super easy. You only need like a few devices. In fact, let me just run down what you need: an Accolade device, Elimination Manager, and a tracker, and player spawners. That's it. It's so super simple. Let me go ahead and show you guys what we're going to be building. Let's run a play test, and then I'll let you guys know the structure. Let's do it. Alright, player spawns into the game and they get assigned a tracker. And you see I named it Streak Tracker at the top. They need to get 3 in order to get some XP and get that Accolade. When player makes an elimination, tracker increments. However, if player is, let's say here, if they're eliminated at any point, the tracker removes itself and it resets back to 0. They're not going to get assigned the tracker until they are active and make an elimination, and then they can start their streak process all over again. So to see what it looks like when a streak is complete, let's go ahead and go through that. Sorry, there's that spawn immunity there. Can't wait for that. All right, and then you see tracker resets and they get that Accolade device, that Accolade reward. All right, so that's how it was working. Super easy to set up. Let's go ahead and check out those settings. Or at least check out the structure. All right, so as for the structure, it's super simple. When player spawns in, they're assigned a tracker. The tracker is assigned on game start. Every time they make an elimination, it increments. However, if they're eliminated, it resets the process of the progress of the tracker and starts them over. It basically removes the tracker and resets progress. When they make another elimination, they're assigned a tracker, and once they complete the target amount, and I have the target amount as 3 times, then they receive an Accolade. All right, so now that you know the structure, really super simple, let's jump into the settings. So we do have some events on the player spawner pad, and those events will enable the Elimination Manager and enable the Accolade device. All right, cool. Next, the tracker. Yo, what's up, brother? And then functions for the tracker, you're going to reset progress when receiving from the tracker when it's complete. So it's basically going to reset itself once it reaches that target. And then on eliminated through the Elimination Manager, when the player is eliminated, we want to reset progress because, yo, they can't continue on. They're not doing a good job. They didn't make that, they didn't progress to the next elimination. So let's go ahead and reset them back to 0 so they can start over. And then we want to increment progress when receiving from the Elimination Manager on elimination. So when they make an elimination, you want to increment it by 1 each time. And then if they are eliminated, let's go ahead and remove that tracker. And then we're also going to remove it when the tracker is completed. We're going to assign the receiving from the Elimination Manager on elimination. You don't have to keep that effect, and I'll show it again to you guys in the playtest. It's optional. I just thought it was a really neat little thing to add there. And then for events, when complete, we're going to send an event to the tracker to reset the progress, to remove the tracker, and to award the accolade. Now let's check out the settings for Elimination Manager. Again, if you missed the first part of this, don't worry. We're going to go through another playtest, and this video will be uploaded to YouTube. That way you can catch the entire thing. We're going to enable when the player spawns into the game via the player spawner pad. You can also use a channel device here if you have channel spawn events, and that will be a great place to put that right here. For events on eliminated, we're going to send an event to the tracker to reset progress and the tracker to remove. So these events should already be binded from your tracker if you place them there first. On elimination, we're going to send an event to the tracker to increment progress and also to assign. And then the Accolade device, I have it named 3x streak. And then everything else is optional. Make sure it's set to triggering player only, and so forth. Functions, award when receiving from the tracker when complete, and enable when the player spawns into the game. All right, that is it. Very simple system. You can do a lot with this though. You can even make it a little bit more innovative by adding triggers and adding additional attributes that you want to call. But if you're just want something simple and basic and you want like a certain number for them to hit, then this is the easiest way to go. Let's go ahead and rerun the playtest so we can just see what we just built. All right, tracker is assigned as soon as player spawns into the game. And tracker increments upon elimination of another player. All right, and then if player is eliminated by their opponent, their tracker is removed, and they're not going to get assigned that tracker until they make an elimination. Right, it comes back. Now they're back on track, and they got to get 3 to get that accolade, right? And got to wait for the spawn immunity. All right, and this will be the last one. There, and I get that accolade and it resets back to 0 so that it can continue and go forth. You can even make the tracker hidden if you don't want it to show at all and like have everything happening behind the scenes. So that's definitely something you can do as well. And that's it. It's super simple. I hope you guys do find this helpful. And I'll go ahead and see you guys on the next tutorial, all right? Bye.